Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Welcome to today's session on 202X Vision, crafting annual business plan with AI for success. I am Ritika, your host for this insightful journey into the future of business strategy. Today, I'm privileged to have distinguished panel of speakers, which include Vishendra, Dennis, Lisa, and Rishabh, who will share their expertise on leveraging the artificial intelligence to shape robust and annual business plans. Okay, so uh, we have our past sessions on qualifying leads, and we have 5 sessions on that, as you can see. And I can promise you that each session is very insightful. So, in case you have missed watching our session, or you want to rewatch it, or you want to share it to your colleagues, you can visit our YouTube channel and watch the on demand videos of all our sessions over there. I'll share the YouTube link to our channel in the comment section soon. But before we start our session, I request all the participants to please mention their name and their location in the comment section. And we're also going to have some Q&A, and we encourage to have active participation and engagement. So I hope all the participants are ready for our transformative discussion that promises to illuminate the path to success in the ever-evolving landscape of business and technology. Over to you, Vishwinder.
Thank you, Ritika, and thank you so much for introduction of this session. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and advocates of innovation, this is our 12th Growth Sutra in 30 minutes session, and it's been a great co-learning, exchanging ideas, and engaging with more than 3,500 founders, sales, and marketing leaders on this platform for the last couple of months. Our session today is 2020X Vision, crafting annual business plan with AI for success. And a warm welcome to this exciting journey into the fusion of artificial intelligence and strategic thinking. A journey that transcends the boundaries of conventional business planning. I'm your co host, Vishwendra Verma, founder of Growth Sutra. My other host is Dennis Roman, and we are actually genuinely excited to guide you through this transformative session that promises to redefine how we envision and execute annual business strategies. So, before we begin, let me introduce the speakers we have today. Let me add the speakers here. Hi, Dennis. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Rishabh.
Hi, Vish. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Uh, so, would it be possible for each of you to introduce yourself on the session?
Lisa, please go ahead.
Great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Adams, and I am a fractional CMO executive advisor to a number of B2B tech companies. And I have over 20 years of experience in B2B tech in go-to-market and marketing executive leadership roles. Worked in the Valley, worked for a number of companies, large companies in the West Coast. And I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Rishab, can you introduce yourself? Your mic is off.
Hi everyone, my name is Rishabh Nag and I'm a founder at humanly.ai. I come with close to a couple of decades of experience into management consulting, financial consulting, and Humanly becomes my third time venture in this space. So I welcome you all for this session, which we feel will make it quite insightful for all of you to learn more and more about artificial intelligence and the uses. Thank you.
Wonderful. And Dennis Roman here. I generally just tell people I had senior marketing roles at HP, Oracle, and TCS. So that kind of tells you quite a bit right there. And also had an opportunity to work with a few startups over time. Back to you, Vish.
Thank you, Dennis. And I must mention that we have excellent goodies this time post this session. So we have two white papers or ebooks from Lisa, which we are going to share towards the end of the session. And we also have a product that's going to be launched by Rishabh on this platform. This is going to be the first time, not only for Rishabh, but also for us. So do wait till the end, where you can see the solution live on this platform. So let's begin the
So,
session.
so,
Yeah,
so 10 years ago when Rishabh is ruling the world, remember, you were here the day he launched his app.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
excellent. So let me begin with few slides that I have, and then I'm going to pass it over to Dennis. Um, I know this session, the name itself suggests quite interesting and quite fascinating, considering the fact that there's a lot of buzzword which is going around on artificial intelligence. But not that many people are fully aware of the capabilities that artificial intelligence can bring to the table, especially in terms of enhancing the productivity. Um, uh, you know, uh, Having this as an automation and augmentation tool. A lot of individuals are also fearful, considering the fact that they feel that they are going to lose their job because of this tool. But let me tell you the experience that I have. This is, AI is never going to impact or eliminate any jobs. There's only going to enhance the way we are working today. So the content which we have put together for the session is we are going to have C-level insights where we would navigate the strategic landscape. That's where Dennis is going to share his insights. We are going to have a session on building a GTM plan with AI. It's going to be a use case spotlight one. That's going to be from Lisa. Budgeting and financials redefined with AI, use case spotlight 2 from Rishabh. And Rishabh would be also launching data on demand here. And last but not least, we are going to have Q&A with you. I would recommend that you prepare your questions for the speakers. If you have questions while we are presenting, you can share your questions on the chat window. We'll pick those questions from there and try to answer. If we are not able to answer during our presentation, we will ensure that we answer your questions towards the end of the session. All right. So, that's to begin with. I thought let me start with a question. If AI, and let me also give the way you can respond. We have 4 options here: A, B, C, D. You can share the responses in the chat window so that we can see it. Um, uh, and the way which I see is, that's how we can make this session more engaging. If you have more insights, if you have more comments or any comments that you want to share, please feel free to share your comments in the chat window. So the question goes, if AI were to become a CEO, what type of business would generative AI most likely run? And I've kept generative AI in columns just to have it a different identification as compared to AI. And the options are a company that generates ideas for people stuck in brainstorming block. A virtual bakery creating algorithmically delicious cakes. C, a robot matchmaking service for lonely Roombas. And D, a tech support hotline staffed by AI therapists. So while we wait for the audience to comment or share their responses, Dennis, if I may ask you, what would you pick from these options?
Vish, I think they all have a future for AI. I think you've done a nice job here of giving us some, but right now I feel one of the biggest value props is probably tech support working a hell of a lot better when you call in. A lot of frustration in the user experience. That's mine.
Right. Lisa?
I love A because I love the fact that AI allows us to collaborate with more people, more machines, and it creates ideas, better ideas, and from those ideas, it creates an unlock. So I love the notion of A.
Excellent. Rishabh, do you have
Yep.
any pick from
I
here?
would say I would say B, a virtual bakery creating algorithmic delicious cakes. I'm a foodie all by the day. So I'm more like how can artificial intelligence create more better and lovely cakes all throughout the day? So yes.
Right. No, excellent. So, all responses that you shared, that actually goes within the context of generative AI. My intention was to highlight generative AI from the perspective that the generative AI actually is into creating or generating artifacts that people can generate with the help of various tools which are now available. And of course, it can create ideas, more creativity and innovation, so that uh, people who are kind of working on their documents or creative ideas, or even planning, then they can leverage the potential, the power of AI to help enable them, reduce their task and make them more efficient. All right, so I think we have got few responses. I see A, and yeah, most of them are going with A. Let me move to the next slide. And yes, this, I think you might have heard about Mika. Mika is the first AI-powered human-like robot CEO, which is experimental, and it's been hired by Drinks company, Dictador, best known for rums. So you can imagine, while we have AI, which has been leveraged by so many industry stakeholders, but there's a company which is into drinks and beverages. They have gone ahead and they have launched a AI powered human like robot. And the kind of responsibilities Mika have is in terms of overseeing the company's growth into one of collectibles, communication, or even strategy planning. So that shows the level of value that AI can generate, and that's where what we are going to discuss today is in terms of how we can leverage generative AI to enhance our strategic planning, and we can, every business especially starts with annual business planning, and that's where AI can certainly add a lot of value. In fact, if I remember the kind of annual business planning that I had in my past lives, I've seen that while we used to have annual business plan, but we were rarely used to meet the performance as what we have projected in previous years annual business plan, and that actually used to generate a similar kind of the Venetian blinds of business that once HBR talked about. So while we have a plan to grow for like 25%, 30%, but we normally used to grow in a year 5 to 10%, and that actually uh, you know um, that actually due to the fact that the planning that has been worked out is primarily lacking certain deep dive in terms of the forecast that has been generated, and this unreliable financial forecast actually impedes senior management's ability to link capital approval to strategic planning with confidence. And that I have seen so many times that while there has been budget which has been put together for certain initiatives in a year, but those budgets have been downsized or scaled down, considering the fact that our performance is not above the plan that has been worked out. But it not only impacts the budget, it also impacts the portfolio management. So the businesses that are actually creating value, those businesses are able to get the right resources and capital, and that impacts them. While the capital and resources have been invested in some other portfolio which might not be creating value for the business. Lastly, the demotivation of investors and employees actually harms companies' reputation. So it's very important that we look at annual business plan and how we can streamline annual business plan to make it more effective. In fact, HBR in their study also talks about the fact that the price for closing the strategy to performance gap is huge. It's an increase in performance of anywhere from 60% to 100% for most companies. So if we have certain such stats which are on the ground of the real work and done by HBR with their with the consultants who are involved, I think that's a huge takeaway that we have for us to improve our annual business plan. Um, so another question for the audience: what are you hoping to learn today? You can share your options. A, how to use generative AI. B, understand prompts, tricks to enhance your business planning. And C, use cases. So you can share your answers in the chat window so that we can have a view of what are your expectations from this session today. Okay, I think there is a lag, so we might have to wait for some more time, but we can ensure that we are actually covering all these aspects as part of our session today. You may get to know a little bit about generative AI. You'd also understand some of the prompts, tricks that you can leverage to enhance your business planning. And last but not the least, we have 2 use cases that we will be sharing here. So yeah, we got a response from Dr. Manoj. He's suggesting C. So yeah, we have these use cases as well that we'll be showing as part of this session. Okay, so what is needed, especially from generative AI perspective, and I took this chart from Gartner. There are three different areas which are important. One is the data, so it can be external data and internal data. Then it's the prompt engineering, the prompts, the kind of prompts, the creativity that you use to connect with this data and try to extract the information or insights, and then the generative AI LLMs. So with all these 3 pillars, you can create magic, and that is what we are going to talk about in our session today. When we look at the annual business planning, there are actually 5 different steps that I have seen so far. One is, of course, the preparation and reflection, wherein you reflect on the previous year's performance, and you also look at customer performance, or what is the condition of market and economic. Then we have an assessment and goal setting, wherein we assess our capabilities, we assess the portfolio, we do SWOT analysis as part of it. Some people do PESTEL analysis, and then on the basis of our capabilities, we identify goals, KPIs for the upcoming year. The next step is the planning and budgeting, wherein we set the operating budget and we create an action plan to achieve these goals. The 5th step is communicate the annual plan to all team members. It's very important that all the stakeholders in the business are aware of our annual business plan and what are the actions, what numbers we are chasing. And then it's also important to gather feedback from key stakeholders and then add their feedback as part of the annual business planning exercise. And lastly, we need to develop a functional action plan and then execute the strategy, monitor metrics, and adjust as needed over the entire year. So some of the companies, they review this annual business plan on a quarterly basis. Some review it on 6 months. And some actually, I have seen, they don't even review it. They only review it in the next cycle of the annual business planning. And when we look at this annual business planning with Gen AI, you will see that the first step, we can actually, with the help of Gen AI, we can do large data sets, extract meaningful insights, and identify patterns in past performance and market trends. In the second step, we can have predictive modeling to assess capabilities and even identify realistic goals based on historical data and market trends. In the third step, we can use AI algorithms to optimize budget allocation based on goals and historical data. And we can also create scenario-based action plans, which we can try and test out on a periodic manner, considering all the factors and potential outcomes. In the 5th step, we can use Gen AI, where we have to communicate and take feedback. We can actually use AI-powered communication tools, We can build dashboards, we can build presentations and reports to be shared with various leaders and seek their feedback to make the entire annual business planning exercise more effective. Lastly, we can use the AI-driven project management tools, use ML algorithms to monitor key metrics in real time and provide proactive insights for adjustments. So this is just a snapshot of what can be done with the help of Gen AI. But now we are going to move forward and we are going to look at some of the insights. But before that, we have another question for you. And this is, are you pushing AI from bottom up or are you being pulled from the top down? The options are pushing AI bottom up and option B is pulled from the top down. Please share your comments in the comments box. You can pick A or B. Dennis, you like to add your inputs here, specifically with this question?
Probably the larger corporations are ones in which the teams are being pulled from the top. At least I like to think so. But there's a lot of smaller companies where advocates are more at the lower level, pushing upwards, trying to get senior management to take this seriously, because they're very circumspect about how they invest their resources, cash and people.
Right. Lisa, Rishabh, do you have any comments here for this question?
I think most of the firms, because it depends upon the size of the firm actually. So if it is a bigger firm and is adopting a very big Gen AI solution, then it has to be pushing AI from the top, right? Pulled from the top, because only the people sitting on the top would have the leverage to really spend that much of money. Right. So for my answer is like B.
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm going to dodge the question and I'm going to say A and B. Unlike the other inflection points that the industry has gone through over the last 30 years, this is one that requires hands-on practical experience. Like we've been given, like you think about it, we've been given a set of Legos. Like Ethan Mollick basically says that he was given more instructions for a garden hose that he bought on Amazon than instructions for ChatGPT that was created by one of the most powerful and largest companies in the world. This is something that requires us to figure out how to put those Lego pieces together and what to build with those Lego pieces. And that needs to come from both the top and the bottom. And everybody needs to lean in to determine how we push this and how we apply it in our business as well as our daily lives, right? There's going to be a point where AI will transcend business and personal, and it will be, affecting not just efficiency, but also effectiveness.
Right. Yeah. I agree, Lisa. So I just got a message from Dennis and saying we are short of time now. So I'm going to quickly go to Dennis. Do you have anything to? I understand you have a couple of slides that you have worked out. Do you want me to add your slides here?
Yeah, go right ahead, Vish. I'm only going to take a few minutes. Okay, go up to the first one. Okay. I like to talk about money. Okay. I don't need to show you that. Okay. So the bedrock for any B2B business plan, whether we're using AI or not, would be built on these kind of building blocks. A strategy would be an informed and specific set of goals predicated on market research, data intelligence, filtered through the firm's values itself, deliver shareholder returns or sustainability, and their respective value propositions, whatever solutions IP, and targeted at specific geos. That for me would be a strategy. What's the goals? Why are we saying these goals are appropriate, which is from the market research? How do they reflect what we stand for as a company? And how do they reflect what we have to bring to the market? And these are the ways, at least these 15 ways, or at least ways in which AI can help with the business planning process. This is a straight answer with a lot more details that comes right out of ChatGPT 4.0. I recommend 4.0, which is 20 a month instead of 3.5, which is free. It's the difference. And I might have even stole the line from Lisa. It's the difference between having an 8th grader doing your research or having a PhD doing your research. Okay, now, and I'm almost finished. So, as an example, I asked AI, how big is the blockchain market in the USA for financial services? Okay, I told AI it was an expert equity analyst. Tell me how big the market is, and it gave me very specific answers. So if you're in the blockchain business, if you're looking for financial services in the United States, et cetera, this would be a starting point. AI, this is ChatGPT 4.0, with all of the cautions that AI gives us, saying there could be a mistake somewhere or whatever. This is a very prescriptive and very specific answer. If you're building your business plan and you want to know how much the market opportunity is, this would be coming right out of ChatGPT. And these are ways for me to narrow the funnel. And my big philosophy is to make the funnel much smaller as opposed to the way historical funnels are fed at the top. I asked it, what's going to affect the 11 stock sectors in the United States in 2022 and 2023? And you could see each one of the 11 have cues and clues as to what you should be paying attention to if you're selling into those sectors. It's very helpful. Okay, and then I want to get out of here. And I like to use the idea of tells. If anybody's ever played poker or seen one online, they talk about tells. The signal, the body language or the eye language, whatever, that your opponents are giving throughout a poker game. Those are called tells. And these next ones are my tells. These are the kind of tells that I look for when I'm going after the marketplace. If a firm's revenues are rising, but the costs are rising faster, that is an unsustainable business model and represents a terrific opportunity for people to go after. I'm going to get off now, Vish, because I want more time for our guests. But all of this will be on the video. You don't have to take notes. The video will all be up on all 4 of our channels. So if I could, Vish, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Janice, and thanks for sharing these prompts. These are going to be going to add a lot of value for the people who are there, who are watching this session. So we can begin with Lisa's session now. Lisa, I'm going to add your slides here. So I would also, because we are going to have an overrun on the timing that we have slotted, and I request all the participants to stay till the end of this session, as we have a lot of exciting information and insights that Lisa and Rishabh are going to share with us. Lisa, over to you.
Thanks, Vish. Thanks, Dennis. So I'm going to get right into it. And as Vish mentioned, the go-to-market piece of business planning is truly integral to that process. And I'm going to talk specifically about competitive analysis and positioning in the market, infusing that work with AI. Because with AI, we are now able to do things faster and also smarter. Just to give you a little bit of context around what we can use AI for from a go-to-market perspective, with great power comes great responsibility. If you guys haven't heard this statistic from McKinsey, that using AI in sales and marketing could add $1.4 to $2.6 trillion in added business value. And that's a T, not a B, it's trillion. So it follows where the money goes, right? So how can we actually impact this kind of growth in the business? If you look at this framework that you have in front of you right now, I've basically structured a number of use cases around 5 categories. And we are now just scratching the surface. If we think about generative AI, largely people use it for content creation, using it for creating social posts or emails or blogs, ads, images, summaries, those types of things. But we need to begin pushing the envelope and really push it towards more strategic insights, push it towards automation, to push it towards personalization. AI can definitely be leveraged for analysis of data that will give us insights that will inform strategies and tactics. I'm showing you here just a few of those use cases that it can be used for: win-loss analysis, retention financials, identifying high-value segments to go after in terms of targeting. And then I will be showing you a very specific use case around competitive analysis. The next category around collaboration and ideation is one of my favorites. This is one where we're not simply asking AI a question. We come in with a set of ideas and we iterate on those ideas to make them better. In fact, I use a couple of AI tools to do that. I don't typically just use one, I use two, because now you have the power of both AI tools collaborating with you. Who wouldn't want an additional one or two experts on your team? And then with the recent announcements from OpenAI, we now can see the power of automation given the custom GPTs and the integration of APIs, being able to integrate with Zapier, with Zaps. And then we can also see the power of personalization. We can create personalized experiences all along the way. So in this framework, we can infer, and we now have examples that AI helps not just with efficiency, but also with effectiveness. Just going back to this, I also have in here, I can't see the stat, but you'll see the stat towards the bottom that, there's a Harvard Business study with a group of BCG consultants where they've actually determined the impact of AI based on the consultants' performance on key strategic use cases. These consultants were able to complete more tasks, 12.2% more tasks, 25% faster, and with 40% higher quality. So it's definitely not just an efficiency gain, but also an effectiveness gain for the business. So for those of you who might be fairly new to generative AI, I'm going to talk just a little bit about GPT-4 and Claude. Before the announcement of custom AIs and GPT-4 Turbo last week, this is what you would have seen if you are a subscriber of the $20 per month subscription. GPT-4 has the default, which allows you to see images. It allows you to browse the internet. And it also allows you to do some advanced analysis. This was formerly called Code Interpreter. It does analysis, it builds charts, it writes code, and it actually has the best of all features for text summarization. All of these three things can do text summarization, and this happens to be the better one. I've done some testing around that. And then Dolly is one that can create images for you. I also use Anthropic's Claude. So if you haven't tried Claude, you should. There's a free version and there's also a subscriber version, but I use both of these tools right now to help me with collaboration. It also mitigates any kind of hallucinations. When one is hallucinating, you can use the other to double check their work, and you can use each other to take responses from one, have the other one critique it, and then vice versa. This is now what ChatGPT looks like with the new announcement. It's a true multimodal type of interface where in the previous version, you had to go through the different features. If you wanted to create an image, if you wanted to do an analysis, if you wanted to ChatGPT to see an image and analyze it. Now with the new version, it does everything, right? So you can type your prompt down here and it can spit out the response regardless of what type of functionality you need. However, if you are going through a fairly lengthy conversation with ChatGPT, there is evidence that it does get confused. It gets confused around what version or what feature or capability you want it to use. So it has, you have the option to go into the Explore tab. And in that Explore tab, it defaults, you can see the previous version of the capabilities where you can just specifically create images, specifically analyze data, or just use the classic ChatGPT version from prior to the announcement. So that's like just a little bit of backdrop around the tools and their capabilities. So when we look at a competitive analysis use case, this is one where I did this work prior to the launch of the multimodal version of ChatGPT. As a fractional CMO, my team and I do a lot of strategic work. Competitive analysis is one of them, where we're comparing a number of competitors, identifying the key areas where one is better than the other, and then also identifying segments of the market where one might be pushing a lot more of their products in that segment, and in identifying areas that are not served today very well. So for the purposes of this discussion, I'm simplifying the use case. I'm picking two competitors in the space of project management. It's not designed to tell you which one's better than the other, because that's a very personal choice for individual businesses, but it's simply designed here to show you the capabilities of Gen AI and how you can use it for strategic planning. In this case, I am going to be comparing Smartsheet versus Asana in the collaborative project management space. We will be using ChatGPT Vision. This is the ability to see images. And I'll show you how we do that. And what we've done here is we've gone to G2. G2 is a customer review site where small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and large enterprises go to review specific vendors. And as a user of G2, you're able to compare and contrast the different vendors. We will also be using GPT-4 with web browsing. In this case, I had asked GPT-4 to search for buyer's guides, analyst reports, magic quadrants, those types of things that tend to compare various competitors and see what we can find on Asana versus Smartsheet. Last but not least, I've taken the results of those two analyses and put it into advanced data analysis and to give us a comparison chart, and also give us some key takeaways and make some final recommendations around where one might be better, would be more ideal in use versus another. So I'll show you how to do that. So we'll start with the vision. These are the comparison screenshots from G2. All you need to do, or all my team did, was take the screenshots of Asana versus Smartsheet. And you can see here that it shows the number of reviews. It also shows their pricing. Here's just one of the feature screenshots comparing the different capabilities of the platforms. And where you see blue is where one is rated better than the other based on customer reviews that have put the reviews on the site. And there were actually 4 or 5 pages of this, and I'm just showing you one of the pages. And I'm basically uploading the images to ChatGPT with the vision capability. And then here's another one where it shows the number of respondents. It's a distribution chart of where those reviewers are coming from. Small businesses versus mid-market versus enterprise. You can see here that Smartsheet tends to go more on the larger side, more mid-market and more enterprise customers are reviewing them. And then on the Asana side, more on the small business. And then towards the bottom, you see a distribution of how the reviewers, what verticals those reviewers are coming from. A lot of marketing and advertising, more on the Asana side, and a little bit more equal distribution on the Smartsheet side, all from IT into other verticals in the industry. Once those are input, so this is actually the screen. In ChatGPT-4, you can see how the screenshots were uploaded into GPT-4. You can see the response of the AI tool. It gives us Asana at a glance, Smartsheet at a glance, the pricing dynamics between the two of them, insights, and then some final thoughts from GPT-4. And then as a result of the web browsing capability, it found two articles that compared Asana versus Smartsheet, one from Tech Republic and one from Forbes. And it also gave us some insights around the differences between the two of them. Smartsheet with more of a structured approach for task management, and offering some automation of workflows. And then Asana, more of a flexible capability around task management, giving different views and formats. However, this is all based on customer reviews, right? So these two companies might very well have other capabilities that are not, reflected in these reviews. So, but this gives us insight into how the market is perceiving the companies. Last but not least, if I took all that insight from the vision capability and the insight from the web browsing capability, pump that into advanced data analysis, I asked it to create a radar chart to show me in 6 dimensions where one might be better than the other. You can see how, market share, user experience, and methodologies are better with Asana, and then Smartsheet in the others, like pricing and features, user reviews, and innovation. Then it also gives us a final recommendation of ideal situations where one might be better than the other. So this, it has a dual purpose for companies. It gives us the ability to see how the market might be perceiving us. So as an end user or as a consumer of project management software, I could certainly go through this process and find a recommendation for my business. So that's one application of it. The other application of it is, as a company providing these products, I now get visibility into how the market is perceiving me. And do I like that perception? Should I reposition? Should I work on, for example, if Asana has an enterprise product, is this something that really tells them, hey, I need to do something more in the enterprise, right? So if Smartsheet has more capabilities in marketing, should they be doing a little bit more around the area of marketing? So this is very insightful because it comes from, it's one dimension, it's customer interviews, but it's a very important dimension to consider. All right. I'm going to leave you with that because Rishabh has a lot of great things to share with you. But notice the way that we've done that, right? It wasn't just asking a question. It's feeding it data. It's having some hypotheses around what we need to do and asking it to collaborate with us. What I've done here is I've shared with you, and somebody will put it in the comments, the links to these. These are practical steps for how to collaborate with ChatGPT on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I'm also offering some practical steps for how to collaborate with both ChatGPT and Claude. This allows you to mitigate any hallucinations. You get better ideas. You get more ideas. You get to pit them against each other. They give you the pros and cons of each other's feedback, and you ultimately converge in a better solution. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Lisa. And I understand thank you so much, Lisa. And I understand the competitive analysis that you did. I think that would take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to kind of complete that entire analysis.
It took longer to take the screenshots and to upload and to go between the different capabilities of ChatGPT than to actually do the collaboration and to get the end results.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And thank you for these, the documents that you shared. Ritika has shared these documents in the chat window, in the comment box. So I would request the audience to look at these documents later on, as now we have Rishabh, who is going to talk about his side of things. Rishabh, Over to you. I'm going to add your slides here.
Sure, sure. Hi everyone. I'm sure too much knowledge of AI is opening up a lot of parameters of your understanding towards how AI is going to impact you in every momentum. So not just by doing a competitor analysis, but even understanding how you can use uh, not just chat gpt but even your own brain. So I'm so sure Lisa would have spent a lot a lot less time using chat gpt 4 to understand how she can really replicate that kind of an understanding. So I come up with another solution of artificial intelligence. So we all have heard about a lot of stories regarding artificial intelligence. Is it taking jobs? How I can use it? And with that kind of an experience, I come with an experience which talks about. So I made my bread just by talking about numbers to all my life, all my stakeholders, internal or external. And the bigger challenge is when you talk about number is to generate the right set of number. And when I talk about generating a right set of number means you should know your data back and forth. You should know where all numbers are coming in, how these numbers are going to impact you. You know, it's not just your function, but how that number is going to spread across the firm because you have understood that number. And the same number, when you replicate it to your company, and when I talk about replication, it means while you are doing budgeting is amongst the biggest and the most sincere activities which the biggest firms, even the smaller ones, they do to make them understand how have they understood their own firm. So when I talk about understanding your own firm means what? Every firm has been divided into multiple functions, multiple departments. How these departments are being performing. So when Wish introduced us that how AI is going to help, we thought why don't we create a product beforehand? And last 16, 17 months, we have been building a product around it, which can help you not just to do budgeting and generate numbers, but to understand that how essential it is that you understand your numbers well by improving on your productivity, by improving on your visibility to that number. Leadership sitting on the top, they wait for the right set of numbers to flow in front of them so that they can take decisions. And for that, they hire number of people to provide that information to them. And that information is stored in all sorts of databases, all sorts of dbms, all sorts of excel, powerpoints, and where not. But to assimilate that number, it's such a big task that billion-dollar firms takes 3 to 4 months to generate the right set of budget for the next year. And I'm telling you, with my experience, I come with finance background. We used to have, I don't know, in uncountably days where we used to just stretched out in office just to generate the right set of numbers so that every department, when they talk about numbers, we are right, they are right. We used to discuss with all the people across that okay, your numbers are not right, your numbers are not as per the company policy. The revenue numbers or the opex numbers or the capex numbers or the headcount numbers, they always used to ask more and more numbers, and being the finance guy always have to stop them. No, you cannot hire, you cannot do this kind of an activities because your number doesn't fit in. Using artificial intelligence, and we have created an entire product out of it which is named as data on demand. It is it is you can use this product across function, that is a marketing guy, a supply chain guy, operations guy, a hr guy, a finance guy can use this tool. And you just have to put it on your software and it will make it talk to your data. And when I say make it talk to your data, let me just give you a little sneak peek of how data on demand function. Allow me to just show it to you. So I've created um, certain set of distribution around which all questions I can ask from that data. So just have a look at it, and then you will understand what I'm talking about. So I've so business works on a lot of standard deviation. It works on what if analysis. It works on run rates. So it works on a lot of benchmarking, a lot of optimization while you are doing budgets. So I typically asked Dodd, looking at a finance database, that can you really tell me a CAGR of a particular expense, how it has moved over the period of time. So I gave it 10 years time, and I could see that it rose 8.4% over a span of time. So it would start with mere 100, and now with using 8.5% as a CAGR, it can be 224k. If you have started with 100k, it would now be 2.24k. That is how the cost has grown regarding one single expense. That's how you really ask this question. It regenerate your question, and it tells you how it has understood it. So it is asking, so I asked it in plain simple English, what would be the head of finance charges in year 2018 if it grows at a compounded annual rate at 8.5% from year 2008? So I did a what if analysis from it if I want to reach back to the number where it was. Right? That's how this is the power of this tool. Unlike a lot of people who are going to use this function on their Excel or any other tool to do a what if analysis, now you are doing it just by typing in plain simple English. So whenever your boss is going to ask you how his number is going to be, so you just do a what if analysis or a scenario analysis just by typing in plain simple English. I even asked it, like a typical boss, it would be, please create a graph around a particular, a particular metric. Instead of spending a lot of time on your BI function, you just type it and then you ask it, please create a stack bar graph for amount, year, and quarter for all that label. And look at it. It is giving you quarterly numbers for all the years that we had the data for. So you can do an analysis that, yes, the data rose from year 2017, from year 2016, and after that, it has always been on the rise. So you can understand the trend just by looking at these numbers, right? You can do a standard deviation. You can ask whatever question you think your data already have instead of wasting a lot of times. And I know I am saving a lot of hours time of a lot of analysts across, not just for the finance vertical, but across the firm. This is the time saving, and look at the productivity. Now you know, if you have asked what is the percentage of change of amount under depreciation and amortization for particular 2 years, you could just say that it reduced down to 34%. What does this mean? That I haven't acquired a lot of asset over the period of last 2 3 years. So this means that you have hired a lot of people, right? And there could be a lot of understanding behind what would that number goes down, what would that number goes up means, right? So all that understanding you should spend by just typing in plain simple English instead of deriving this number on an Excel or wherever, right? You should just type in plain simple English, and that's how we have created this tool for leadership as well as for analysts. This tool will work across industry. It will work across functions, across departments, and that is what the power of artificial intelligence for you guys in this age. Everyone, I'm so short and I'm saying it online. I know it's a recorded line. Next 2 to 5 years, even a smaller mom and pop shop to the largest firms on this planet is going to use similar, if not the same tech across. And that's how I would give power. Artificial intelligence has given power to all those people, those who work on numbers, those who eat bread and butter because of numbers. So, yeah, that's how. I hope this will give you a lot of insight about how the world is going to change, right? How a lot of dimension of understanding numbers will change, especially at the leadership level. They thrive for right set of data. Now the leadership is just going to ask Dart, please tell me the data. Please tell me the data which comprises of what within a function. So yeah.
Thank you, Rishabh. I think that's an excellent, the solution that we have seen here, and I'm sure the audience is certainly going to, may reach out to you for more information about your solution. But I
Sure.
see the transformation which is now happening, especially in terms of enhancing the overall productivity and reducing the number of hours that goes in working on some mundane tasks that can be actually minimized with the help of AI. And you guys are doing an excellent job. What Lisa shared and what you shared, I think that's excellent. That's best of the industry practices that we are able to showcase today on this platform. So thank you so much for to both of
Sure.
you. uh, Dennis, do you have any comment or question for Lisa and Rishabh here?
I was wrapped in both of their presentations. I actually have a sore hand from taking notes. I'm going to have to get some hand cream in order to take the. I thought that was wonderful, both of them. And congratulations on your launch, Rishabh. And Lisa, you've been very generous, and thank you so much for those 2 white papers. I've already downloaded them, and I'm going to be going through them. Yeah, I think it was a lovely and productive session today. Thank you very much, Vish and Ritika, for helping out and putting these together for us.
Thank you, Dennis. So before we leave, I just want to mention that we have our next session on 14th of December, and this is going to be on 2020X Vision. AI drives business outcomes, and that's where we are going to talk about business excellence, how you can automate or augment your balances scorecards, or even your KPIs and charts that you can uh, you know. Improve with the help of generative AI. So do subscribe for this session. This is going to be shared in the chat window. It's going to be a LinkedIn live session. So I would recommend that you book your calendar for this session well in advance, so that you can receive all the notification. And in fact, if we have some more goodies that we can share, we can do that. But thank you so much for joining today, and thanks for your patience. I understand we overrun this session by almost like 15-20 minutes, but thank you so much for being engaged. I'm sure you might have received a lot of insights from the speakers. So a heartfelt thank to our brilliant speakers for sharing their insights, Lisa and Rishabh, and also Dennis, and to our esteemed guests who are there and shown their active participation. The recording of the session will be available on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. You can access it. You can watch these sessions on demand. And if you have any comments or insights, do share with us on the comments, and we would be happy to respond to you. If you have, you can also use this community to network with people, network with us, all 4 of us here, and we could take our discussion offline as well. But thank you so much for being part of this journey, and until our paths cross again, stay inspired, stay innovative, and may success accompany you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.